Hey everyone, Mitch coming in from Not the Commander's Core studio. Welcome to the show. So let's just say, long story short, some life circumstances have occurred, and I am going to be working with my Rode microphone right now for a little bit, and yeah, you might have to get used to this quality. I am so sorry that it's not quite my studio quality and that there's no picture of my lovely face, but yeah, let's jump into it. So on this episode, we've got Rukarumel Biologist, a 5-color, brand new, very exciting human wizard commander, but not a human wizard deck that you're building with it, most likely, or you kind of can. This is kind of a weird one, but a very exciting one. A 3/3, again, human wizard. Enters the battlefield, choose a creature type. Slivers you control and non-token creatures you control are the chosen type in addition to other creature types. The same is true for creature spells you control and creature cards you own that aren't on the battlefield. On top of that, pay 3, tap, create a 1/1 colorless Sliver creature token. So this is a very strange commander that's like Sliver tribal, but also you can kind of meld in another tribe. You can kind of select basically any other tribe that you want, essentially, and make like a Sliver slash goblin tribal or Sliver slash wizard tribal. You can pretty much pick any essentially tribe that you want to utilize their lord effects, mostly probably is what you're going to be utilizing them for, and saying, you know what, now my Slivers also get whatever benefits from those lords as well. Obviously it doesn't have to be just one tribe, you could use multiple tribes as well. Maybe you've got some blink spells so you can blink this commander and get that effect if you need to switch it. That being said, as well, this commander does have the potential, obviously, to make Slivers quite effectively. Now, unlike Sliver Queen, this is 1 mana more and you have to tap it. That being said, of course, there are ways to reduce that cost, which we'll talk about potentially here in a little bit. Also, there's plenty of ways to untap, so you can make sure you can utilize that again. Again, Slivers are kind of like the ultimate kind of tribe, I would say, where it's basically just all lord effects. All Slivers just benefit, well, in some cases with the older Slivers, all Slivers on the board, including your opponents. But yeah, your Slivers as well, more so lately, is what they are doing. So yeah, a lot of really exciting potential things you can do this. Again, so many potential. This is kind of like, in my opinion, like a Morathon commander in a way, where it's just like, hey, it's an open book on what you can do with it, because yeah, this is a tribal commander technically, right? It's like, hey, you probably want to go Slivers, right? Cool, do that. But yeah, pick whatever other tribe that you want to splash and essentially just utilize and make those Slivers even deadlier with other tribal effects. Again, a very interesting commander, one that again can help you make an army as well over time. And of course, keep in mind, it does say Slivers you control and non-token creatures you control are the chosen type, which is a very interesting include. Someone in the comments below, let me know exactly why maybe they chose that. That seems like it's just making it more, wide ranged and more powerful. I mean, you don't even have to go Slivers then, I guess. You could just go like non-token creature generators essentially, and then whatever tribal that you want to go with, essentially, again, goblins, wizards, whatever it's going to be, you could go in that direction as well. But yeah, I think most players are going to be like, yeah, Slivers, I've always wanted to make a Sliver deck and throw in my favorite goblins that pump my other goblins or whatnot. And we're going to talk about a lot of fantastic lord effects in this episode. So yeah, on this episode, of course, make sure you're checking out that card list link in the description below. Going to be taking you through the budget buys and the pricier picks. And yeah, let's jump into it with the budget buys. So first up in the budget buys, we've got, well, a human that's got something to say about this. Catilda Dawnheart Prime. 1/1 human warlock protects from werewolves. Human creatures you control have tap, add 1 mana of any of this creature's colors. So that is massive. That is huge. That is like, hey, you know what? Yeah, let's have all of our Slivers tap for mana essentially now too, right? I mean, I guess humans as well as Slivers. Very low to the ground creature that can help out your entire team, can ramp you so quickly. I mean, this on top of Mana Web Sliver, this on top of that other Sliver whose name I'm forgetting right now, who can also have your Slivers tap for mana as well. Some of the comments below, please help me out on that. Yeah, this can just help you generate a lot of mana very quickly with your team. And of course, also, hey, pay 4 and Selesnya essentially tap, put a counter on each creature you control. Or should I say, not Selesnya, green, white. You know what I mean. Basically, hey, get your entire team pumped even further on top of all the other pump effects that you're going to have. Speaking of pump effects in mana, though, yeah, Elves. Elvish Archer, a great card as well. 2/2. Other elf creatures you control get +1/+1. So basically, just, yeah, hey, all your Slivers also now get +1/+1 because they're also elves. Elf Slivers is kind of a weird thing to see. But anyways, tap for green for each elf you control. So this one's going to be the tapping. This one's going to be giving you a ton of mana. And again, there's so many great tribal effects for elves. Actually, all these tribals, tribes that I'm bringing up essentially right now are great candidates because they've got a lot of different tribal effects to really take advantage of. Moving on, I've already mentioned this one earlier. Goblins, yeah. Goblin War Chief can be a fantastic one. 2/2. Goblin spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. That is huge. That's going to reduce the cost of your spells. And again, because the way your commander is worded, hey, it's going to reduce the cost of your Sliver spells as well in your hand if you are naming goblins too. So it saves you on all those goblins and your Slivers. And on top of that, goblins you control have haste. So reduce the cost, cast more and more and more of your Slivers and goblins, and you can swing with your Slivers and goblins right away. That is huge. Next up, let's take a quick detour from the tribes and talk about Zirda the Dawn Waker. Now this one is kind of interesting because if you really want to get specific, sure, you could probably make this in your companion, but that's going to be a bit difficult. Each permanent card in your starting deck has activated ability. Your commander does have that, so keep that in mind. That's going to be kind of difficult to do, though, if you really want to go like best tribal for Slivers and this other tribe that you're picking to. That being said, abilities you activate that aren't mana abilities cost 2 to activate. This effect can't reduce the cost unless 1 mana. Your commander's ability, again, costs 3. Now it just costs 1. So, yeah, every single turn, you're going to be paying that 1 mana to tap it to make that Sliver. And of course, this would work really well with untap effects as well, really using and abusing that effect. Moving back onto the tribes, though. Endless Ranks of the Dead, a fantastic card in zombies, and now apparently a fantastic card in Sliver zombies. At the beginning of your upkeep, you create X 2/2 black zombie creature tokens, where X is half the number of zombies you control, rounded down. Yeah, that's going to count, of course, your zombies and your zombie Slivers, and you're going to make more and more and more of them, and this is just a fantastic card. Any kind of a massive token generator is going to be insane with this kind of a deck, so yeah, definitely something to consider if you're going the zombie direction. Next up, Forerunner of the Empire. This one's a very interesting one. Enters the battlefield, you may search your library for a dinosaur card, reveal it, shuffle your library on top of it. Again, your commander makes it so that cards that aren't, on the battlefield also now have that other creature type if they are Slivers. So now on top of that, you're like, okay, dinosaur. You can tutor for any dinosaur or any Sliver out of your deck, put it on top of your deck. So yeah, go get the best Sliver that you need for the situation that you're in. On top of that, whenever a dinosaur, or a Sliver apparently now, enters the battlefield under your control, you may have Forerunner of the Empire deal 1 damage to each creature. Again, with your Slivers, typically you're going to have some pump effects. You're going to have a lot of ways to protect your Slivers. So yeah, get your Slivers larger, make it so they survive these, and then your opponent's creatures won't be so lucky, most likely. Next up, Sanctum Seeker. If you are going vampires, another great tribe with a lot of support. Hey, whenever a vampire you control attacks, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. That is massive amounts of drain. Again, basically just by swinging with a single, again, vampire or Sliver, that is 3 life lost in total across all your opponents, right? And you're gaining life too. That can add up so quickly. Speaking of adding up, let's add up the cards in your hand. In absolutely no time, Azami, Lady of Scrolls, 0/2 Human Wizard, tap and untap wizard you control, draw a card. Absurd. And now every single one of your Slivers is like, hey, let's tap, let's draw cards. Again, if you've got those untap effects in this deck to take advantage of your commander's ability, you can take even more advantage of this ability. That can just be absolutely absurd. Tapping, your 10 Slivers or whatever, drawing 10 cards, probably finding a, mass untap spell out of that, essentially, untapping your entire team, doing it again. Maybe again, have fun with that. And speaking of fun, one other fun direction to take it might be, hey, yeah, dragons. Dragons, I believe, is currently the most popular tribe out there, and for a reason, it has a ton of support. It's got a ton of powerful things, and this Miriam, whatever the name is, Sentinel Worm, is actually within my budget. Again, those budget buys less than $1, only 50 cents for this version, and this is a gross card. 6/6 Flying Ward 2. Whenever another non-token dragon enters the battlefield, you control, create tokens copy of it, except the token isn't legendary if that dragon is legendary. Yeah, your Slivers are now dragons as well. Have fun copying every single one of them, including the legendary Slivers, which now you will get copies of. Gross. But now that we've talked about every single one of the budget buys, though, let's move on to the pricier picks. Again, cards outside of my budget, but might be within your budget, and cards that are more than $1. We're going to start things off with, well, Training Grounds. A card that got a reprint recently, and yeah, that dropped its price a ton. I think this card was like $20 or $30 before that. Jam for a single blue mana, activate abilities of creatures you control, cost select to activate, can reduce less than 1 mana. Basically, exact same thing as Zirda, essentially, in a way, essentially just for creatures, though. That being said, again, with this commander, this is a 1 mana way to perpetually save 2 mana every single time you activate your commander throughout the game. It's going to save you a ton of mana. Next up, Harmonic Prodigy, a great card for this kind of a commander. If you're going, well, I guess to say Shaman, or probably more likely Wizard, then yeah, this is incredible. If an ability, a Shaman, or a Wizard you control that it triggers, that ability triggers additional time. So yeah, just doubling up every single one of your triggers. Yeah, Slivers have a lot of triggered abilities that can work very, very well. Have fun with all of that. Next up, Captivating Vampire. Again, if you're going vampires, you need to, well, if you got the budget for it, include this one because it's so gross. First up, other vampire creatures you control get +1/+1. A great anthem effect for your vampire Slivers. On top of that, tap 5 untap vampires, gain control of a creature, comes a vampire to other types. Hey, So your opponent's creatures, have fun with that. They get the pump from this as well. Yeah, pretty gross. And again, if you're really using and abusing your commander's tap effect, hey, you can do that with this as well, utilizing those untap effects for your team. Next up, Azuri Renegade Leader, a fantastic elf commander in its own right, and a fantastic elf card in elf tribal deck. Pay green, regenerate another target elf. And again, elf sliver essentially is what you're going to be having. So regenerate your creatures for just a single mana. On top of that, pay 2 green, green, green. Elf creature control plus 3 return gain trample till end of turn. Basically a repeatable overrun effect, again, for your elf slivers. Gross. Have fun with that. Moving on, Cranko Mob Boss. Yeah, goblins will love this. Goblin slivers will really love this. Tap, put X one more goblin creature tokens on the battlefield, X number of goblins you control. Your slivers are goblins. Good luck with that to your opponents trying to stop you once you get things going with this. And again, the untap effects, of course, work incredibly well with this. Moving on, Cigar Fauna Blessings. Flying, other permanents you control have hexproof. That is huge. Protecting your things is great. On top of that, we look at the top card of your library at any time. You can cast angel spells and human spells to top your library. If you go angel tribal with this, kind of as that splash, or human tribal, whichever one you go, great. But also, hey, your slivers are also that creature set that you chose, so you can cast them off the top of your library, which is huge. Again, your library is basically a second hand now. The top of your library is a second hand. That can be so much more card advantage than you will ever expect. Moving on, Scourge of Alcus. Let's talk about dragons again. Hey, if you got the budget for it, $1.43, just outside of my budget, barely, but still a fantastic card. Whenever it or another dragon enters the battlefield under control, it deals X damage to target creature player, X the number of dragons you control. And you can pump this too. The important thing is, though, this is basically like, hey, the more and more slivers and dragons you have on the battlefield, the more damage you're going to be doing, because you're just going to have a swath of creatures on the battlefield, and you're going to do a ton of damage every single time you get a dragon into play, which again, counts your slivers too. So yeah, pay 3, tap your commander, cool. Ping something for a ton. And when it comes to a ton of value, Rooftop Storm is hilariously amazing and just outside of my budget at $1.08, unfortunately, but very much might be within your budget. Enchantment for 6 mana. You pay 0 rather than pay the mana cost for zombie creature spells you cast. Again, if you're doing zombie slivers, there you go. This is a crazy good card in that deck. All your sliver cards now are free as well, on top of your zombie cards too. And then finally, hey, you want to go dinos, go big with Gishath's Son's Avatar, 7/6 Dinosaur Avatar, Trample, Vigilance, and Haste for 5 red, green, white. Whenever it deals counter to a player, reveal that many cards to the top of your library. Put any number of dragon creature cards from among them on the battlefield, and the rest on top of your rest of the bottom of your library in a random order. Basically, hey, hit someone for a lot of damage, most likely. Again, have fun with that, and get a ton of dinosaurs, get a ton of slivers off the top of your library for free, right into play. Yeah, crazy good plays can happen with this. But yeah, that is my quick take on, oh gosh, here we go. Rukarumel? That's probably what it is. Anyways, Biologist, a really interesting commander. Again, like a tribal commander that is kind of like Morphon in a way, where it's like, yeah, you can splash whatever other tribe you want, essentially. Whereas Morphon is like one tribe. This is like, hey, it's slivers plus this. Or I guess you can go non-token creatures if you really want to, plus whatever other tribe you really want to go after. So whether that's goblins, whether it's wizards, dinosaurs, whatever it is, I mean, you can even go like nightmares, whatever you want to do, make sure you do it in a very splashy, big way with this commander. Take advantage of untap effects as well. Lots of cool things can be done with this one. So yeah, a really exciting one. If you are excited about these cards, if you're excited about this commander, make sure you check out that card list link in the description below, potentially. And of course, as always, well, stay tuned for more exciting quick takes and spoilers. And of course, yeah, thanks again and have a good one. This show and episodes like this one are possible thanks to viewers like you. If you're looking for an easy way to help support this show, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. Also, hit that bell notification icon so you don't miss any new episodes. You can also go check out our playmats and other merchandise at thecommandersquarters.com. We also have a ton of brand new t-shirt designs in stock, so make sure you check out those as well. Another easy way to support this show is with our TCG Player affiliate links. So whether you're buying a deck or individual cards, you can use this general link right here or one in the description. And the final way that you can support this show is by supporting us directly by becoming a patron. There are many benefits to being a patron, and I truly couldn't do this without all of their support.